Ball, we're going right down this field, and we're going to score.
Come on, turn it. Over zone. 4, 3, set, camp. Boy, the gears in that guy's mind didn't mesh for a long time, I'll tell you that. He hit me.
Program lineup, there ain't no ball players here. Program lineup.
Hey, Washington! Big down. All right, there we go. 4, 3, set, ground left.
Right into the end zone. Touchdown.
Good evening. Well, tonight we bring you a truly exceptional game. The world champions, the Washington Redskins, doing battle with the Los Angeles Raiders. Now, we've already seen both teams this season displaying the kind of talent which led Redskins coach Joe Gibbs to predict earlier this week that tonight's game would be the heavyweight championship of the world.
And that's no exaggeration, as their records show. Super Bowl champions, the Redskins, have won 18 of their last 20 games. The Raiders, 13 of their last 15, and they're still undefeated this season. They've only played each other 3 times before, and Washington has never won. Certainly in a showdown of this magnitude, you can expect the Redskins' master tactician, Joe Theismann, to be in the thick of it all. He had no illusions when we talked to him before the game.
With the Raiders, last time we played them was in 1980, and it was a regular street fight. They're a very intimidating type of a football team. Defensively, they talk, they push, they shove. Not the most pleasant people in the world you'd want to meet in a street alley, to be perfectly honest with you. And I anticipate the football game to be one of that nature. It's going to be tough, it's going to be physical, and it's not going to be a place for weak hearts.
So if it's going to be such a tough game, how do you go about preparing for it, Joe?
I try and find the toughest section of town and walk through it, anticipating getting beat up, and that gets me in a real mental frame of mind.
But really, all the Raiders can't be like that, can they?
They're usually of a nice nature. I see Ted Hendricks, Matt Millen, Jim Plunkett, DeMarcus Allen. I see all of them in the off-season because I spend a lot of time in California. And oddly enough, they're all very nice people until they put on that silver and black, and then they become downright nasty. And I don't know what it is. It's got to be the dye because it's a transformation of character completely.
So, no weak hearts on the field today then, and the promise of more football action than we can possibly pack into 1 hour of television. So, stand by for a close encounter of the most potent kind as we sit back with the sellout crowd at the RFK Stadium, Washington. We join our commentators, John Brody and Marv Alpert, for the first half to make room for what I'm sure you'll agree is one of the most dramatic second halves of any sporting event you're ever likely to see.
Second down, 15. And it's picked off. Here's Wiggins. And he's in.
Put 6 points on the board for the Redskins. The first time anybody's made a rushing touchdown against the Raiders all year.
And Mark Mosley adds the extra point. And it's picked off for the third time today. Mel Kaufman intercepting Plunkett.
Number 3, Mark Mosley, trying to kick the field goal.
28-yard attempt, and this one is good. So Mosley, who missed moments ago, putting this one right through. And the Redskins, who have had their way in this first half, now lead the Raiders by the score of 10-0. 9.5 remaining in this first half. Plunkett deep in his end zone and firing for Branch. Cliff Branch.
He is gone, folks.
Wow, 99 yards. That's what Plunkett answers with. and the Raiders right back in it. And that is the longest touchdown pass play in the history of the Raider franchise.
And there will never be one longer.
Good point, John. By Chris Barr putting it through. So it is now the Redskins 10 and the Raiders 7. Theismann. Touchdown. Joe Washington.
This is the first drive that the Raiders have allowed against them all year long. It was a beautiful drive. It was well conceived. They ran different receivers throughout different areas. Joe Theismann was on the mark. He was very patient. They used Riggins to eat up a lot of the clock, keep him in a situation. And at the end, Theismann makes a perfect throw to Washington. Didn't look like it was perfect, but it's the only place it could have been thrown.
And the extra point added by Mark Mosley, so Joe Washington with his first touchdown of the season. 80 yards, 6 plays in just under 4 minutes. Redskins 17, Raiders 7.
A first half that Washington dominated will be remembered for this pass from Plunkett to Cliff Branch. Join us after the break for the exceptional second half.
Welcome back. We join the third quarter just after the start with Washington in possession on the Raiders' 47-yard line. It's first down and 10.
There's Theismann off the fake. Don Warren inside the 15. So Warren, the tight end in his 5th season out of San Diego State, with his first catch of the day.
But I tell you, if there was ever a gimme, he just got one. And that ought to be given partly to Riggins. You know, you ought to give about half of that yardage to Riggins if you really care about stats. They finally got the linebackers to concern themselves with Riggins. Warren goes on a slide block, runs right by Otis McKinney, who was trying to stop Riggins. Catches the ball on the dead run from Theismann. And I mean to tell you, he was an awful lot farther open than it looked like in your monitor.
33 yards on the play. First down at the 14. Again, the play action. This is Charlie Brown. And it goes nowhere. Lester Hayes right there. Theismann is now 9 for 16, 144 yards. Lost 2 on that last toss, 2nd and 12 at the 16. 4 minutes gone by, third quarter. Redskins lead it 17-7. Joe Washington.
Y'all be careful out there. Now you see Art Monk.
So Art Monk, who has made his return here today, he is the reigning member of the Fun Bunch, but not having fun here with the Raiders.
An important decision right here. Who's this penalty on? Is it against both of them again?
It's a tough call to make, and Pat Haggerty has been handling it by calling offsetting penalties, which means often you disregard who starts it, and the only way one club will get penalized is if the other guy steps away, and that's a tough thing to do.
Well, I think what's happening right here, Marv, is that you don't call it if you don't see it. And I don't think anybody saw the initial contact. What they see is the reaction. They see 2 guys going at one another after the play's dead, and they didn't see the start, so they didn't call it. And that's a good decision.
All right, third down and 9 at the 13. And Theismann is hauled out, but a flag thrown. Britt Townsend getting to the quarterback, but a penalty marker is down.
Face mask, and I think they're in discussion. Millen is livid. That play was called from over there by the head linesman, And they said that Townsend grabbed a hold of his face mask, and Greg is not agreeing with it, and it did not look to me like he did either.
And look out, Matt Millen just tossed his helmet. He could get an unsportsmanlike conduct unless the official did not see it or chose not to see it. So it is a face mask on the Raiders.
Haggerty could have overruled him, but he didn't see it clearly enough to make sure, so he let the rule stand. The call, and I guess that's what happened. He was a lot closer than I was.
So a 3rd down and 9. At the 13. Again, the shifting around in the formation by the Redskins. And Theismann has it deflected. And the fans want an interference.
Well, the reason they do is because they saw Rod Martin jump all over Joe Washington. But once the ball is touched by a defender, that baby is fair game. Anybody can do whatever they want to get it.
And so Mark Mosley.
Look at Joe.
Check in.
Now, he ought to, what you do is a lot of times you forget the rule, and in the heat of battle you say, hey, he was all over the top of him. Right. But the ball was deflected.
All right, Mosley has missed from 36 and hit from 28. This a 30-yard attempt. And Mosley has extended that Redskin lead. 5.5 gone by. 3rd quarter. Redskins now lead the Raiders by the score of 20-7. 1st and 10 back at the 17 as the Raiders take over. Play action for Plunkett. Oh, nice catch by Todd Christensen in front of Mark Murphy, the free safety. So Christensen with the long gainer, and the Raiders have a 1st down.
Well, everybody in the house knows we have to come to one of our best players, one of our big playmakers in a critical situation. So we've got Todd Christensen getting one-on-one with Curtis Jordan. Plunkett's going to need a little extra time to get the ball to him, rolls out to his right, hits him on the dead run, and they've made their first big play in the 2nd half.
And when you say we, you talk from the quarterback point of view. This is Frank Hawkins.
I didn't mean the Oakland Raiders or the Los Angeles Raiders. I meant,
yes.
I mean everybody in the house watching the ball game.
Okay. Got some letters from the Washington area. John. Hawkins carrying for 6, 2nd down and 4 at the 36-yard line.
You know, the funny thing is, as a quarterback, you do catch yourself rooting for both offenses. And I'm sure the defensive analysts root the same way on the other side of the ball. But anytime I see a quarterback and receiver do something good, I like it.
You're just a diplomatic guy.
I guess so.
6.5 left, 3rd quarter. And Plunkett gunning it down. Calvin Muhammad, touchdown. Calvin Muhammad with a spectacular catch.
You said that right. Can you believe, Marv, that right now, if they kick the extra point, that the Raiders are within a touchdown of winning this ball game as much as they've been blown off the field? The crowd has come to a total silence. And if you just take a look, you realize where we're playing. Jim Plunkett, a 99-yarder for the 1 score. Now he moves a little bit this way. 2 plays. They come from way down in their own territory. The 2nd fine reception by Calvin Muhammad, his first chance to really do some playing. And I tell you, that was beyond the call, that catch.
First touchdown of the season. Calvin Muhammad, 2nd year out of Texas Southern. And now Chris Barr splits it through. And the Redskins, although overwhelming the Raiders, completely outplaying the Raiders, can only show a 6-point lead. Washington 20. And the Los Angeles Raiders 14, and this crowd is stunned.
3 strong defensive plays by the Raiders forced the Redskins to punt. The Los Angeles offense now has possession at the Washington 40-yard line.
Kenny King. So King collecting the 1st down. Marcus Allen sitting it out for the entire game. He is out with a bruised hip, was called a question mark before the game, but has not played.
That's right, and it is upon Kenny King to pick up the ground attack, and he's doing so here. But what I like is when you are calling your own plays, as Plunkett is, he knows that on 4th down we're going to be having a go at it. I've got 3 downs to pick up the first. Marcus is rooting. He's talking to Art Shell, the great offensive tackle who's now a lineman coach for the Raiders, and they're getting enthused again. They've been blown out of the park. Now they've got a chance to get back.
First down at the 37. And Plunkett fires for Barnwell. And again, the recovery by Green to knock it away.
That's great. That's great playing. He's a fella. He's a rookie. How many rookies have you seen? A lot of them, who just defy you to beat them. He's a defensive cornerback. All those fellas think they're faster than everybody, better than everybody, tougher than everybody, stronger than everybody, more valuable. He's one of the few guys that backs it up. Sonny Jurgensen asked him, he said, how fast do you run? He says, I don't know, 4.1, 4.2, but you know, he says, you're talking about a different class of speed. He says, nobody can beat me.
He was world class in college at Texas A&I. Second down and 10. Calvin Muhammad for the first down. Vernon Dean on the tackle, and what a second half it's been for Muhammad. 16-yard gain. Now Greg Pruitt in the backfield alongside Frank Hawkins, but Plunkett to throw again, looking for Pruitt. And Pruitt covered by the middle linebacker, Neil Okowitz.
Remember, we still got a quarter plus this 205.
The big number in that stat line alongside the name Jim Plunkett, 3 interceptions. All in the first quarter. Second and 10. Looking for Muhammad. Touchdown! Calvin Muhammad again. And the Raiders have tied it at 20.
If you don't mind my saying, this is the sort of play in a big game that just changes the starting lineup. I don't care who it is he's going to be playing in front of. He's going to have to be doing an awful lot of playing. The Raiders like to go deep. They've got a man in Calvin Muhammad that can do it for you. He is in a one-on-one situation. Take a look. He's a crisscrossing pattern man. The 2 defenders run into each other all over the field. It's Coffey trying to handle Muhammad. He can't do it when the ball's thrown. Muhammad makes another great catch. His second reception of the day for a touchdown, and the Raiders can go ahead with this.
Mark Wilson puts it down for Chris Barr, and the Raiders have moved in front. So the Raiders have come from behind, although completely outplayed throughout the first half, and they now lead the Redskins 21-20.
What a game. With under 2 minutes left in the third quarter, the Redskins have the football.
Good rush by Alzado, but a beautiful reception. Charlie Brown for the first down and much more. James Davis wrestled him out. Our 34-yard pass play. Brown's 5th catch of the day. First down at the Raider 37. Minute and a half left in what has been a terrific third quarter. Riggins fumbles. And recovered by the Raiders. Greg Townsend on the recovery. So that is the first fumble loss by the Washington Redskins since the New Orleans game last year. And 600 and change in terms of the streak, which we'll be able to focus in on a moment. But John Riggins finally losing a fumble.
And you see, you just have a game between a bunch of money men. The young fella that's been playing so well all year long, Greg Townsend, stripped the ball from Riggins. Everybody knows you're trying to hold on tight, but these fellas are trying just as hard to knock it loose. Townsend does. The Raiders have the ball. That's just a great defensive play.
Raiders first down at their 35. Hawkins picked up 2 and was thrown back by Okowitz. And there is Cliff Branch, pulled a hamstring in running the final yards of that 99-yard pass play. Second down and 8. Down to 40 seconds to go, third quarter. Plunkett, after standing in right near the first down marker.
He's got his feet over, but I don't know if the ball made it.
Rich Ballard on the cover-up tackle.
It did. Where they marked it, that ball is good for a first down. Jim Plunkett knows he's going to need more points today, and he's the man that's going to get them for them if they're going to. He gets out of the rush, and they are rushing him pretty well. His offensive line has done an adequate job, but he's had a lot of times when he had to scramble. He picks up the first down, keeps the drive alive.
Time is running down in the third quarter. And that is the end of the third quarter. With the score, the LA Raiders 21, Washington Redskins 20. We'll be back